Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. In today's episode we are going to conclude our Champions League group stage campaign. We've got Monaco and Juventus still to go, and of course we've got some fixtures to review since the last time we met. So there's only 3 fixtures that we've played, the first of which was a 2-1 home win against Swansea City. This was a very clutch game. Rodrigo Marquez gave us the lead in the 26th minute, but Nathaniel Chalobah equalised in the 81st minute for Swansea, and it looked like it was going to end a draw, but thankfully Sebastian Jaros got a very late goal in the 89th minute. Now Swansea are not the kind of team that you can underestimate now. I think they're definitely in the Europa League spots last time I checked. We'll have a look at the end of the fixture review, but yeah, they're a decent side, so to get the win was good. We then faced Wolves in the League Cup 4th round, a fully rotated side, and we smashed them 4-0 away from home. Sebastian Jaros with the first, Jose Mesquita with the double, and Gonzalo Ramos with the other. And finally was an incredibly disappointing 1-1 home draw against Crystal Palace. Marquez had gave us the lead inside 16 minutes, but a Jack Butland own goal levelled things for Crystal Palace, and despite us dominating the game, we could not get the win. So with that, this is how the league table looks. We sit top of the table on 34 points, but Man City have 1 game in hand and are level on points with us, as are Liverpool, who have played the same number of games, but we do have the superior goal difference, and Arsenal have the same level of points as well. So the entirety of the top 4 all on the same points. Man United are only 2 points behind us in 5th position, and Chelsea are only 4 points behind us in 6th position. As you can see, Swansea in 7th on 28 points as well. So it's a very compact top 6 at the very least. So we could quite easily slip out of the top 4. Bad run of form, couple of defeats, and we could be out of there. So we've got to maintain the sort of form that we have been doing. But so Swansea City are in 7th. Yeah. Interestingly, we are qualified from the Champions League. Juventus and Feyenoord played before us and Monaco are going to play, and they drew 0-0. So we are now qualified. We're not guaranteed top unless we beat Monaco in the first game of today's episode. So this is going to be the lineup for today's game. Jack Butland in goal, Tavares, Gonçalves, Badiashile and Carlos Julio in the defence. Benny Aquino in the centre, Sebastian Jaros, Gonzalo Ramos, Jeremy Doku in the attack midfield plots, and Rodrigo Marquez leading the line. Gravenberch drops to the bench as Ramos is having a bit of form, and I want to give him some game time as well. And considering we've qualified from the Champions League now, and we did smash Monaco away from home, I'm kind of feeling confident. Was that a bad thing? Probably. They come at us with a completely different formation, very narrow, so hopefully our wingers can have a field day. So we kick off against Monaco, obviously at home, shooting from left to right. We know a win or a draw. Yeah, a win or a draw guarantees us top spot in this group. It's our Champions League group stage campaign has honestly went far better than I ever imagined when the initial draw was done. I mean, even in the media comments was saying that Brighton handed an incredibly tough group, but we've sort of made it look a little bit easy. There was only that draw against Juventus at home that has been the downside of this whole campaign, and to me it was actually a decent draw, you know. I think we did deserve the win, if I remember correctly, but Juventus are obviously a good side, so we didn't quite get there. But to have qualified already, we're in the knockouts. It's all money in the bank as well. Even though we've been took over by the Tycoon now, still getting that Champions League money in is important. Highlight now, Jeremy Doku coming down the left-hand side, gets the ball in, Rodrigo Marquez gets there before Areola, and he gets, it's Lenglet. It's an own goal. He'll be disappointed with that one. We'll see it again. It did look like Rodrigo Marquez managed to get his head onto it, but Areola made a poor decision here coming out, and Marquez gets his head on it, but it looks like it was going wide if it doesn't hit Lenglet. So he's very fortunate there that Lenglet was in the way, but we're 1-0 up and cruising. Cruising might be a bit overconfident, definitely. Another highlight now, Carlos Julio with a throw in and finds his way to Doku. Tavares is now in the box. He always takes 2. He's at the bar. Another highlight, Ramos switches the player beautifully to Carlos Julio on this left-hand side, who finds Doku. He's got 2 men on him. That's not a penalty, that's a free kick. Yeah, the referee has given the free kick after a stupendously long VAR review. We'll stick with the free kick though. Rodrigo Marquez only goes for goal. Areola claims it very easily. And there we are, we're going at half time 1-0 up. A bit of a dull game so far, I would say. We're performing pretty well. We're having the majority of the opportunities in terms of shooting. Going by the match stats, we are the most team on that is on top. But we haven't really created anything apart from that own goal that ended up going in. With only around 20 minutes to go, we'll look to make some changes. Bentley Ebb can come off. We'll get Marco Bulat on in his place in the defensive midfield role. Jeremy Doku can come off as well. We'll get Roberto Alvarado on, who hasn't seen enough game time so far this campaign after a fantastic campaign last year. And that's Sebastian Yaros getting a goal from a corner. I was expecting the whistle, honestly. Where was the offside? But it mustn't have been. I don't know if Monaco maybe had some people on the line or not. But Sebastian, listen, I'll take their word for it. What, 2-0? Another highlight now, 15 minutes to go. Alvarado switches the play to Tavares. It only takes 2, and that was the second one. 5th goal of the season for him. Another banger for Tavares. And 3-0 up at this point. We are qualifying top of our Champions League group stage. That is very, very satisfying thing to see, considering the group we were handed. But it's a great goal by Tavares. Top bins. Areola stands no chance. With 5 minutes to go, we will look to make our final sub. We'll get Gravenberch on for Gonzalo Ramos, who's done well in the attack midfield role without contributing anything like assists or goal-wise. Alvarado's done incredibly well as well since he came on that left mid spot. And there we are, full time. Brighton 3, Monaco 0. It was a cakewalk, honestly. Did Monaco even have a highlight or an attempt? I don't think they did. But that sees us qualify top of our Champions League group now. We only haven't beat Juventus. I would really like to beat them. Well, this is awkward. I kind of forgot about something. The World Cup's going on. We've got a lot of friendlies arranged over the December period. We don't play Juventus until literally 2 months in game time. God damn it, man. Stupid Qatar. So I tell you what, I am going to play through the December period and the rest of November period, as it's only the 1st of November. But we're going to play for our second game of today's episode. We're going to play the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Southampton. You won't see me play Juventus live. I'll play through the January transfer window episode next. But yeah, we'll get to the Southampton game. Well, it's been a long time for me. We're finally back. World Cup has been played. Spain ended up winning it, beating Austria, interestingly, in the final, only on penalties. I actually had a quick flick through the Austrian team there to see if they had any crazy regen, but none of them are even in the first team, so it is literally just the Austrian players that start the game. And Marasek looks brilliant for Napoli here. But yeah, interesting stuff, and it took a while to get through. In terms of what we're doing today for the rest of the episode, we actually going to play Watford in the FA Cup third round, which took precedent over the quarter-final League Cup game against Southampton, according to the FA. And it gives you an opportunity to sort of see how my second string performs, because that's exactly who I'm going to be playing in today's game. Now, unfortunately, Jayden Bogle is currently injured, and he would usually be my second choice right back, so he is not going to play today. But yeah, so Freddie Woodman will of course start in goal. We're going to have to play Tavares at right back. Gonçalves, Ostergaard and Abilio Neves complete the defence. Tudor Baluta has requested a transfer and he will be leaving the club, but he is going to play today in the defensive midfield spot. We are going to play Aquino as Marco Bulat is currently still recovering from injury. In terms of the right wing spot, we are going to play Mbalo. Play Gonzalo Ramos in at the attack midfield spot, and we'll play Alvarado on the left hand side, and we'll have Mesquita starting up top. So it is nice for us to be able to see some of the second string that doesn't usually get any game time whatsoever face Watford today in the FA Cup. Now they come at us with a 4-2-3-1. Tom Davies, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Riyad Mahrez, Marcos Alonso, Malang Sarr. Some decent players at Watford, honestly. We're going to have to be at our best, even with our second string, to be able to win this game. But if we get put out, it's only the FA Cup, who really cares? It's nice to get some of these boys game time, though, particularly the likes of Gonzalo Ramos, Luis Gonçalves, Abilio Neves, Mbalo, all them sort of players. Still got room to grow and don't necessarily get as much game time as they probably deserve, just purely down to the quality of players that we have in our first team. So it's nice. Highlight now, 28 minutes in, Mbalo with a free kick. It's played in and cleared by Watford, and they can now break with Marlon. The breaking in numbers as well. We need to get back, particularly on this right hand side. Abilio Neves managed to cut the ball out though, as Riyad Mahrez was trying to pounce on it. The highlight continues though. Riyad Mahrez does pick up the ball this time on the right hand side for Watford, plays it through for João Pedro, and that's his 6th goal of the season. That is an absolutely fantastic finish after a decent cross in by Riyad Mahrez. So not the greatest start for us. Going by the match stats, we did start quite positively, but obviously going 1-0 down this early on, particularly half an hour in, is a bit disappointing. That was a great through ball by Mahrez and a great finish by Pedro. 3 minutes to go before half-time, and there is another highlight. Abilio Neves plays it out to Aquino on this left-hand side. He hits the bar. Mesquita almost gets there first, but Watford managed to play it out for a corner. Another highlight now just before half-time. Mbala with the corner. Alvarado gets up, and he hits a crossbar as well. We're getting a bit unfortunate here in terms of the opportunities we're creating, and we go in at half-time 1-0 down. We'll kick off for the second half. Hope the boys can start picking things up. Usually my second string's been doing quite well throughout the season, so I would be a little bit disappointed if they were to get beaten today. Another highlight now. Aquino plays the ball in on a free kick. The ball is headed on by Leo Ostigard, and Roberto Alvarado is their back post to poke it home for his third goal of the season to get us back level 5 minutes after the break. A decent free kick by Aquino. Nice head on. Good first time finish by Alvarado. Let's push on now, boys. Get the win. Going to make a change. We're going to get Gravenberch on for Gonzalo Ramos, who was on a yellow card and he was struggling a little bit for fitness, so probably the safest option just to get him off at that point. With 15 minutes to go, we will look to make some more changes as well. Sebastian Yaros can come on that right hand side for Mbalo, and Rodrigo Marquez can replace Mesquita up top, bringing in some of our bigger guns to hopefully be able to affect the game going forward in this final 10 minutes. I'm not sure. Does this go to a replay? I really don't want a replay. We've got so many games coming up. We'll go very attacking for the final 4 minutes, see if that makes any bit of difference. And of course, it does not. And it looks like we are going to end this game 1-1, and we're going to extra time. That's brilliant. I'm so glad we're going to extra time. I always forget whether it's extra time or replays, but that was a good change. Straight away, highlight. Gravenberch with a free kick, hits the bar and goes over. It's the third time we've hit the woodwork today. 98 minutes in now, and Gravenberch has got the ball on the right hand side. He plays it in, it's cleared, but only as far as Aquino. And there's so much space on the left hand side if Aquino can switch the play. Doesn't manage to do it this time. It goes all the way back to Gonçalves, to Baluta, back to Aquino, back to Baluta. Some nice build-up play by us. Yaros brings in the ball, goes for the long-range strike. That was poor effort, really. Another highlight, and Baluta again involved in the play, to Gonçalves. Back to Sebastian Yaros, to Gravenberch. Some of these boys have got fresh legs now. Aquino, come on man, got to slip through the ball there on the left hand side, but unfortunately didn't see the pass. Aquino to Gravenberch on the edge. We know he's got the strike on him, and he does get his 7th goal of the season. Diogo Aquino with the assist, and we go 2-1 up 100 minutes into this game, 10 minutes into extra time. Hopefully we can hold out now just to the half-time period of this extra time. Do we get an extra substitution? I'm presuming we do. And I'll make that change at the half-time. Probably bringing off either Tudor Baluta or Abilio Neves, depending on who we've got on the bench. Well, will probably be a Neves at left-back. That we will make the change for if we are allowed to. Let's see. If it lets me, it does not. So you don't get the extra substitution during extra time. I always get confused about which competition plays by which rules. I think every competition should allow an extra substitution should it require an extra time period. But 15 minutes to go. Our boys were relatively well rested. Let's see if we can finally see this through. Highlights straight from kickoff. Watford are in behind, and Juan Hernandez equalises for what I'm still very attacking. Why have I done that? I have probably just cost us the goal there. We were pushed very high up, high closing, and they had just a long ball over the top by Marcos Alonso. Finds Juan Hernandez. Leo Ostigard cannot catch him. Doesn't have the pace to. And yeah, we go 2-2. I'm going to stay very attacking now. Hopefully this highlight straight from the kickoff is an opportunity for us as Alvarado picks up the ball on the left hand side, finds Abilio Neves, back to Alvarado, drives in the box, and what a save that is by Dahlberg. I thought that was going to put us in front once again, 3-2, but it wasn't a B. Maybe this corner could do something for us. Yaros heads it on, Ostigard with a strike. It's blocked by Watford and it's cleared. Only 11 minutes remain of extra time, and if it stays like it is, it's going to penalties, and we all know we do not have penalty takers in our side. We got beat off Leon in penalties in the Europa League final last season. Let's hope it doesn't get to that point. Yaros picks up the ball from Alvarado. That ends up getting finding its way to Tavares, Baluta, Aquino, Gravenberch, back to Aquino. Go on Gravenberch, what a strike. Goes just wide. The highlights have come thick and fast in this extra time period, and it looks like Juan Hernandez is going to cause us some issues again. Tries to find João Pedro. Thomas Tavares manages to clear it, but only as far as Marcos Alonso. We end up picking up the ball again though, and Sebastian Jaros can break with his pace. He tries to find Gravenberch. It's a poor pass, but Watford managed to get him. Long ball over the top by Ostergaard. It does manage to find its way to Alvarado somehow, and it falls to Aquino in the box, and Diogo Aquino's 4th goal of the season puts us back in front 3-2 up. We are going to go to the cautious mentality now. Let's not stick to very attacking, because that's not great luck when you're winning in extra time. So we're very fortunate there for the ball to find its way to Alvarado. Aquino does well once he picks it up in the box. Oh, there's a highlight straight from kickoff. Please, no. Please just stop. João Pedro coming down the left-hand side finds Marcos Alonso. We managed to get the block in, but the ball finds its way back to João Pedro. I thought that was a penalty there. Do not get sent off. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Juan Hernandez. Riyad Mahrez. What a save by Freddie Woodman. Oh my days. The highlights. They're just not stopping. Riyad Mahrez hits the bar. They go close again. Watford are absolutely banging on the door. Please just stop. End this game. Jesus Christ. Riyad Mahrez with the corner. It's played in back post. Malang Sarr heads it down and manages to hit Gravenberch and goes out for a throw-in. Finally, some breathing space. No highlight. Only 20 seconds remain in this match. And hopefully now we can see the rest of this game out and just beat them, for God's sake. Abelio Neves gets dispossessed in the box, and that is going to be that. Brighton 3, Watford 2. We certainly made a meal of that. But the second string boys have done well to come back and end up winning the game and seeing us through to the next round of the FA Cup. Next episode, I'm not even sure what I'm doing there. There's so many games in January. I think, screw it. We'll just do one episode. We'll do the January transfer window episode how we usually do it. We'll not see any live games. We'll just play through it. We do have a massive transfer budget of £106,316,000 ready to play with. As you can see, we've already agreed plenty of transfers. None really that I see first team quality right now, but a lot that are coming in for some decent fees as well, and will be big players for us in the future. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.